Welcome back to Dad's Foxbody Garage. Tonight we're going to do a little project together. I'm going to set up a time lapse here. So if you watched the last episode, I was talking about how I noticed the carb is a little rich, and we need to lean it out a little bit. So what I'm going to attempt here is, I have all these carburetors behind me on the wall. And started looking at my carb here. I already pulled that off, and realized that I don't have a rear metering block, so adjusting the jets would consist of me adjusting that plate that's in the back, because this is a 3310-3 Holley, so 750 vacuum secondary without the rear metering block. So I had a rear metering block on one of the carbs up here. It was looks like it's an aftermarket. It used to be blue, but I wire brushed it and the bluing came off. Cleaned it up and blew some carb cleaner through it, and it appears everything's open in it. I don't know what size that carburetor was, but I can take a look at what's in the primaries here, and we can go from there as far as what I choose for the back. Then I went ahead and pulled out some jets out of some other carbs up there just to get a variety of sizes. I haven't even looked to see what size I have. But I'm hoping we can get something that's close, go down a couple sizes in the front and maybe take the ones from the front and put them in the back. We'll see what we can come up with anyways. So I'm going to set the camera up probably on my toolbox over here and start taking this thing apart and see what happens. Alright, well, we got it apart, but I guess I should have checked the jet sizes before I pulled them out. I got 6 60s and 2 52s. So, yeah, that's not going to work. My primaries were 72s in the carb that was on the car, so I'm going to dig into a few more of these carbs and see what I can find. I won't bother recording that, just more of the same, taking old crap apart. But once I find something, we'll get back to work. Alright guys, so didn't have much luck with finding different size carbs. It looks like these ones on the shelf here are primarily 650s and 600s. I did find some 66 jets, but they're just a little too small. And my machinist drill set here, I don't know if you can see that. That's in between sizes for a 69 jet. It's right around 69 thousandths, and we got a couple thousandths bigger or a couple thousandths smaller. So I think what I'm going to do is get a 269 jets, put them as my primary on the primary side, move my 2 72s that were in the front into the new back metering plate that I had on another carb, and see how that works. I don't want to change too many things at once, and you're pretty much on the primaries most of the time anyways. And from what I know and learned about tuning carbs is you always adjust the secondaries last. The primaries are first. Primaries and power valve are first, and then secondaries are last. I know I was really, it was kind of fat all the way up in the RPM. but we'll see what happens with this, because this changes a lot of things. This might change the idle. When you're in cruising, I do believe that some fuel is still going through your idle circuit. So anyway, that's where we're at right now. I doubt any place around here has jets, and especially now on a Friday night. I'm gonna give a friend of mine, Jason, text and see if he's got any 69s. I know he has a jet kit, but I also know he's doing a garage sale, and I don't know what he's used already. So hopefully I can get a hold of him this weekend. So I don't like leaving the motor open. I can put a rag over the intake, but it's kind of where we're at right now. You can see not much has changed here. Just trying to find out sizes and make sense of everything. I just don't know. I looked at these online, and basically you're changing your air bleeds and your portholes down the bottom, which is pretty much like your jets. But these are expensive. They're like $30 or $35 for that. I don't want to be doing that. Jets are cheap, a few bucks. So anyhow, that's where we're at. I'm gonna pick this up once I get some jets. So see you in a few. All right, it is another day. It is Saturday, right around noon, and we were able to get some jets. Got some 69 jets. My buddy Jason, thank you Jason, hooked me up with those. Like I said, he's got a tuner's kit he bought for his, and he's got a big motor, so he's using the jets up in the 80s and 90s. So it's fortunate that he had some jets available, and very gracious for that. So I'm gonna put this guy together. Not too eventful here, just the metering block goes on, and then the bowl goes back on. May have to lengthen my rubber line here because now I have the new metering block in here in the back, and I have the 72s that were in the primary back here. So that should be the same from what I calculated as that metering plate. It appeared I had 72s all around if you gauge the hole. I know the hole doesn't mean everything, it's the flow, but they were the same, so I'm assuming the flow would be the same. And then I'm just going to put it on, and hopefully it runs. I don't know if I'll take it out for a run just now or not. I might do it a little bit later and see if the secondaries work properly. And if they do, we'll see what my AFR numbers are, and we'll go from there. I can always go down a little bit, and I'm telling you, the more you read into carburetors, it's kind of like ignition, right? The more you read into something, you start second guessing stuff. So I got this carburetor from a buddy because my 650 didn't work. I don't remember exactly the details of why I wanted a 750 vacuum secondary. I think I might have read it in something on the supercharger or the Holley information, but you start going down these rabbit holes where, well, maybe vacuum secondary isn't the best thing for roots, because of the amount of vacuum the roots is drawing all the time. But it's only allowed to open by this linkage here. Once you get to like 40 degrees on the primary, then it can start opening, I guess, right? I think that's how it works, right? I think they're tied together somehow. Maybe not. Maybe. No. Maybe I'm full of crap. Maybe that's the double pumper I was thinking of. I know that's tied in together, but maybe the secondary can open whenever it wants. Well, I guess it can't, right? Because it can only go as far as this lever here will allow it to, and that lever moves out of the way when the primaries are open. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Maybe I need to go back to a double pumper if the secondaries are opening too rapidly or too soon because of the vacuum from the roots. I don't know. Like I said, you can go down these rabbit holes. I'm no expert. I'm just out here trying to figure this stuff out. I mean, all in all, the car runs really good and it goes like stink, but just trying to hone this in. So I don't think I'm that far off, right? Don't fix what's not broke, right? I do know that it was running really fat, and yeah, you could tell by the amount of exhaust that was coming out when he hammered it, and it wasn't like white or smoky, like oily or any of that. It was definitely fuel, which makes sense with the AFR gauge. So I'm gonna slap this together and get it on and see what happens. Alright guys, it looks like we don't have any leaks. It's all on, bolted up tight. Got the fuel pump doing its thing back there. I gave it a couple pumps. I got my remote starter here. Let me check, make sure I'm in neutral. Yep, I'm in neutral. Let's see what happens. Alright guys, first test is a success. Car starts, idles. I did go about a quarter turn out on the idle mixture screws just to help with the initial fire up. Once it warms up, it idles a little rich still, which I don't really understand that. But when you cold start it, it's super lean, where now my numbers were a lot better on cold startup. And you could hear it. once I adjusted the idle a little bit. It's idling right around 9 on a cold start. I imagine that'll go up. You know, I may have to take that down a little bit once, you know, the oil gets thinner and everything gets freer. You know, the idle typically goes down, or I mean goes up, because it's easier to turn. So that's it. I'm probably gonna do an update, you know, once I get to driving it on the next video. But I think that's it for now. So we added a metering block out of a display junk carburetor and a non-power valve. Converted a it's called a 3310-3, which I guess is 4160, right, to a 4150 with 2 metering blocks, and starts and runs. We're gonna take it out for a cruise, but and confirm everything's working right. But hey guys, thanks for watching, and if you like these kind of videos, let me know. Kind of just experimenting my way through this stuff. You know, please like and subscribe. I like to see the subscriptions are still going up. Really happy about that. And if you want any t-shirts, am I wearing one? Yep, I got one on today. Dad's Foxbody t-shirts. Don't know if you saw the back when I was working on the car. Let me put this down and I'll try to show you the back. You know, Dad's Foxbody. Please let me know, and they're 20 bucks. Whoop. Sorry about that. Hinge let go on my GoPro thing here. But they're 20 bucks, and we'll get one in the mail to you. So again, thanks for watching. Alright, quick update, guys. Just took a first spin, and we're close, but I think we could be better. So if you're just driving around, cruising speed, I'll say, the wideband's reading 14.2. Now if you run it a little bit higher in the RPM in the gear, not like well, not just idling along, that's where it's at. If you're just idling along, it's still rich, but obviously you're engaging the idle circuit a lot. When you get your foot in it, it's 12.5. So what I'm thinking is, so I went with a 69 in the primaries, and I just kept with the 72s in the back. So I didn't expect wide open throttle to change much. I guess a little bit it would, but, and it did. It wasn't like dead rich like it was the other day. It was like 10.75, 11. So I think I'm on the right track. I think I may need to go like a 1 up on the primary, unless you guys think 14.2 is fine. 14.2, 14.5 for cruising. And I think I need to go a little smaller in the secondaries. So I'm at 72. I know being supercharged, you don't want to go lean, but maybe I think there's a little bit of room there. You know, if I'm just hitting the 12.5, I don't know, do I go 70? Do I go 70 or 71? Yeah, I just hate pulling this thing on and off all the time. I mean, it's pretty darn close to being a square setup right now, and I guess it's not far off, because that little change of 3 sizes in the primary really changed things. So the quest for the right jets continues, but it's better, and boy does it move. Still think it's odd that I don't see any boost registering in first and second gear, but maybe there's not enough. Maybe I'm not in them long enough. But if I'm in third gear and I lay into it, the boost gauge just comes right up. I don't know if maybe my belt's slipping or if this is normal for a Roots blower. I did get a shorter belt because I do have, I'm at the upper limit of my adjustment. So for my tensioner. So maybe I'll try putting that on and seeing if that helps any, gives me a little more grip. But these blowers have the 10 rib wide versus like the I think it's the 144s have the 6 rib belt. And I know that was always a problem for me when I was a kid, because that's what I had. I had a 144. The belt tensioners on those are kind of janky, and I had trouble with the belt slipping, but I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking things, because it's not like I need more power in first and second gear, because the tires don't stop spinning much. But third gear grips and rips. I mean, it really wants to send it. So I'm going to continue messing around with the boys out here. See, Bob just put his alligator under my feet. So I'm going to hang out here and mess around a little bit. But thanks again for watching, and like and subscribe, like I said just a few minutes ago. But thanks again. Bye.